Morning to all present here for this exciting program, Careers in Media, brought to you by the first education channel, EduTV. Today we have with us Professor Divakar Shukla. Professor Divakar Shukla has more than 2 decades of experience in the fields of social and brand communication, new media technologies, and corporate social responsibility, with various premier organizations like World Bank, Netherlands Embassy, along with over 14 years at world's largest communication organization, Ogilvy. He brings with him a deep understanding of the behavior and mindsets of communities and consumers, especially across Asian and Indian cultures, and the application of the same in the field of social and brand management. Currently, he is the professor and dean faculty of journalism and creative studies. The faculty is made up of two flagship schools, this Jagran School of Journalism and Communication and Jagran School of Visual Arts and Design at Jagran Lake City University. He also leads the Advancement and International Affairs at Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal. He teaches communication for development, consumer behavior, development journalism, advertising, and digital storytelling. So today the students we have with us are Inika Modi and Nikita Idnani from grade 11 from the Sanskar Valley School. Hridaya Hana Shibu and Riddhi Kissinger from Sharjah Indian School, Sharjah, UAE. Jay Kamdar and Anushka Patak from Delhi World Public School, Rajkot, Gujarat. And Dhruva Dutt and Mahi Prabhavalkar from Delhi Public School, Bangalore East. Now I request Inika Modi from the Sanskar Valley School to come forward and pose a question to Professor Divakar Shukla.
Hello, sir. Good morning. So I would like to ask that we've always been provided with a very narrow and stereotypical view of media. And the branches of media also keep on overlapping with each other. In this world where multiple career fields are fusing together, what other careers can we come out of media?
So thank you so much, Nikita, for asking this question, because I think it's a very profound question which you've asked me. A question which, all of us, whether we are into academics, teaching media education, or we are professionals working in a media space, everybody has been trying to answer it to a larger extent. Now, I would many times during the course of our interaction, I would, and this is for everyone, I would be referring to the media as a creative industry. So allow me to do that. Because certainly I have seen, and why I say so is because I've seen that, and this is exactly what you asked me, Nikita, that media is taken to be in a very, very narrow sense. There are some aspects which people completely miss out when they're discussing media. So I have taken a broader view, which is more of a creative industries perspective, and plus a journalism also attached to it. Now, having said so, if you see the world over, the biggest challenges that the world has been facing, and if you take last 50 years, right? And if you try to sit down together and think of what could be the solutions to these biggest challenges that humanity faces, whether it is the current, very, very close to us, which is the COVID part, or it is the global conflicts which happen, or it is the politics which happen. Many times, the climate change conversations are happening the world over. And if you go to the root cause of everything and then say, okay, fair enough, how is that we can find out solutions to these biggest hot spots and biggest problems? My sense is invariably you'll arrive at a point where either technology would be able to give a solution to it, or number two, communication awareness would be able to give a solution to it. So it's not about building programs, building up buildings, creating new infrastructure, but I think the communication becomes the solution or the key to all these biggest challenges that we face. And you rightly said it, within the domain of media, within the domain of creative industries, everything overlaps. Now, let me illustrate what I mean. So today you see journalism, and journalism is, when I was a part of the university, when I was studying, and even at the school level, journalism was seen as one of the biggest careers that you can come across. The whole intellectuals, people who can write, who can speak, who can analyze, were part of the journalistic practices the world over. But then there was a point of time when so many kind of lacunas came into the journalism as a profession, and certainly the entire career went down. But today I see in my university itself, and I'm sure in many other universities, some of the most brilliant students are kind of drifting towards journalism. And you know why? One of the things is that the world needs information, and an information which is factual, information which is true, information which is candid. But just being a journalist does not mean that you are good at it. What it means is, can you create a journalistic practice, whether it is through television or through print or newspapers, everything, or through podcasts or through radio. You create a practice in such a way so that the general audiences in the world, the general citizens in the world, rich, poor, far off, near off, they are able to understand what the media literacy is all about, what journalism is all about, which means you need to give facts very, very correctly. Now, where does the journalistic stories come from? They come from data many times today. So I think there is another stream which has built up within the journalism stream, which is called a data journalism. Now, the moment I say data, many of you may be pursuing technology as well, science as well at your school level. You'll say, hang on, sir, you're talking of journalism, you're talking of creative industry, and certainly the data comes into play, which means technology has a great role in creative industries as well, in journalism as well. So this convergence of technology and creativity has created a huge amount of possibilities for the media and for the creative industries world. And everything is interlinked. So today, when you see a television show, a news show, let me say it this way, you also see a lot of graphics. Now, who's those creating those graphics? It's the graphic communication designers. It's the technologists and the designers per se. Now, in my university, in my department, as you rightly said initially, I think Mahi said it. So there are different schools, there are different disciplines which are run. So we have what you call the journalism programs being run. We have advertising PR program being run, but we also have the design programs and graphic communications also being run. Animation programs are running through. Interesting. Why? Because all of these students come together and they create many of those what you call infographics and graphics for the television shows and videos. So again, you see overlapping of animation, graphic communication, and journalistic practice coming together. Look at advertising, for example. Again, it's a part of the media and part of communication world. Advertising, one side is communication, persuasion, brands, those careers. But at the bedrock of it, or behind the scene, what we call as research. Until unless I know, for example, if I have to promote something as a brand to all of you, until I know what your choices are, if you have to go and buy a dress, until unless I know what your choices are, how would I be able to give you the right persuasive messages? So I need to know you very well. And now knowing you very well means what? Some aspects of psychology comes into play big time. And certainly psychology becomes a bigger play. Now psychology and advertising and communication have kind of come together. So the best of advertising practices in the world today have neurosciences tagged onto it. And I think that is a very, again, important. That's again an overlapping part of it. So you cannot say, okay, psychology is completely different, advertising is completely different. Sociology also is part of the entire thing. So overlap of it, part of it. Today you see films. I'm taking another view to it. You see films, you see animation films. What is behind everything else? Half of the film is made in the studios. You may watch on the theaters, you may sit on the TV, the great locations, but as you all know, 50% could be brought in the studios, which is called a visual effects, right? Graphics, CGIs, and the graphic effects and everything else. So most of the 50% are shot actually in the outdoors and the locations. 50% actually happen within the studios against a green wall. So latest movie which has come out is Avatar 2. So there's a student of mine who has been part of this what he calls CGI game programming for Avatar 2 as well. Now certainly you realize that all these disciplines are coming together and the world of creative industry or the profession of creative industry has opened up. So you think of a discipline, and that's one of the interesting part of being in the media industries. If you think of a discipline and say, can I connect my discipline to media? Can I connect my discipline to say creative industries? Believe me, you'll find some links which should go back to the media as well as of today. So I think I call it a classic way of connecting the dots. And that's very exciting. As I said, why it is exciting is two things are going to change the world. One is technology, which kind of envelops many kind of technologies. And this is communication and information, because that's what is going to provide solutions to the world. I hope I'm able to answer.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Got it. Thank you.
Thank you.
I think he has answered many questions. We will just go for a short break of 6 minutes and you'll come to know more about Jagran Lake City University, Bhopal.
Expression. Isn't it the most beautiful thing in the world?
Aren't we all here to make a change?
And this kitchen is my canvas and I am an artist.
Every voice deserves to be heard.
How can technology liberate us?
What does it mean to be educated? Is it just about a few books and a degree? Or is it about dreams, about making an impact, and about a way of life? Our quest to find these answers brought us to Jagran Lake City University in Bhopal, an institution that sets itself apart by the virtue of its vision and firm beliefs.
In the 8 years of its existence, I think the Jagran Lake City University has carved out a niche for itself, not just as a leading institution of Central India, but as one of the important institutions across the country.
Stepping into adulthood can be both exciting and confusing. The phase brings with itself many dreams and umpteen questions. Jagran Lake City University ensures the fulfillment of these dreams and offers answers to these questions. Spread across 236 acres, several disciplines converge at JLU with a mission to make university education more meaningful.
Internationalization and the international partnerships that Jagran Lake City University has is essentially one of the very critical pillars for us as far as an educational institution like us goes. Why? Because it helps us build up deeper influences and also helps our faculty as well as the students to forge deeper meaning to the realities of the world and then bring their own knowledge.
Given the rich media legacy, the Jagran School of Journalism and Communication in JLU is a name to reckon with.
JLU offers really good equipments, the great infrastructure and shooting locations, and the faculty members, they provide a vision for us to view the environment of the film industry and how the film really works for us.
We have a dedicated team of teachers who make sure that all the students get into the best of the organizations, and all the organizations that we went to intern in were just the best.
Industry experts bring a very practical dimension to learning because having worked closely with the industry, they know the exact job requirements and the softwares that are being used in the industry. So when they mentor the students, they make the students more industry relevant and industry ready.
As you know that we are living in 21st century, and this 21st century is known as century of communication revolutions. If you see that the growth of media industries, as per the FICCI report, media and entertainment industry is growing at the rate of 14% annum. So there is a huge wide range of opportunities are available for the student, and that job is enormous, job is there, and the sky is the limit for our students.
Here, a course is not just about a degree, but about creating ethical professionals through global teaching methods and industry partnerships.
At JLU, we are committed to not only educate you, but professionally train you and mentor you to develop legal acumen to make an impactful law career. Law cannot be studied in isolation. To become an all-rounder lawyer, you need to have a deeper understanding of the application of law in context of all spheres of human life.
How to be flexible, how to be different from others. And that's the key of liberal arts education. So the transferable skills that you pick up, additionally the knowledge that you gain in a large bandwidth of subjects helps you to choose careers by enhancing your options and also giving you the flexibility to adapt into any one much more effectively.
Our infrastructure is the best amongst the hospitality schools in Central India. I must say, it may be a source of envy to many. The curricula of various programs have been designed through global best practices and also keeping in mind the requirement of the industry.
They say 1 and 1 is equal to 11, and that's exactly what we aim when we bring the resources, expertise and experience, industry outreach, a lot of these things together from the two schools. We believe that all of this enrich the programs and experience of the students from each of these schools in a way that wouldn't be possible if we ran these two schools separately.
Life at JLU is not just about academics. It is about offering holistic development. So, abundant co-curriculars, sports and cultural festivals complete this mission.
The extracurricular activities keeps us sporty and up for everything. We had the Garba Fest previously and we keep having events like the DJ nights.
University seemed very professional and that they could also help us with all the needs that we needed help with.
And here I actually have no problem transitioning at all because the courses are more smaller and more focused on the students.
At JLU, diversity is valued, multiculturalism celebrated, and the integrity of the individual respected. Great Place to Study proudly features Jagran Lake City University as Great Indian Institute 2019.
Welcome after the break.
I would like to call upon Rudya Hanna Shibu from Sharjah Indian School, UAE, to propose their question.
Greetings to all of you. I am Rudya Hanna Shibu, studying in grade 12, the head girl of Sharjah Indian School. First of all, thank you to EduTV for giving us this great opportunity, and thank you so much, sir, for being with us today. So, as we all are aware that an investment in knowledge always pays the best result. So, sir, may I ask you, what are your guidance on how students can be successful in this career?
So, 3 or 4 quick things, Hridaya. I always feel, and this is something which I also follow very diligently even now, honestly. And this is something, don't take it just as a preaching part of it, what I'm telling you. I see that this works for you for building a great career. One of the first things is, please be very aware and be curious always. I know it sounds a cliched word, but if you really practice curiosity, make sure that you are inquisitive about things around you. Believe me, you'll be very successful. And you'll always, throughout your career, you'll be using this particular, what you call a skill. Now, curiosity, if you look at it, is not a very difficult thing to do. All of you in the age that all of you are in, if you see a child younger than you, in your families, in your neighborhoods, in your school, they keep on asking you questions. Isn't it true? They keep on asking you questions. Many times as adults, we feel, what are they asking? I mean, they are boring us. They're so nagging, right? But they continuously keep asking you questions. My daughter keeps on asking me questions. And I don't have answers to those questions. But the fact is, asking questions is an important part. That's part of being curious. As you grow up, you'll understand there's a technique, what we call as a why chaining. You keep on asking questions, why? And you'll arrive at a point which will give you answers, which we call it insights about people, about life, about situation. So be curious is number 1. Number 2, which is very, very important, please do not wait for the time when you say, I'm going to do something big in life and I'm going to do this in future. Even a small action today is going to make a hell of a difference for your careers. As you see, small things add up to being big. So you cannot be waiting for a long term and saying, I'm going to do this 5 years down the line, 2 years down the line. break your goals in a smaller chunks, which you can achieve, and just keep doing it. Everything which you do today would add up to your career, believe me. And one more thing, as initially Inka and Nikita both had asked me a question of overlaps, and going back to it as why? Because I want to link it to what you just asked me. Everything is relevant today. So today, if you study technology as a casual article, believe me, you'll be able to use in a discipline that you're going to pursue, in a career that you're going to pursue. And there are many examples. We don't have time today. Otherwise, I would have given you examples where something which I have studied, which is not connected to my career, is helping me today. I had never thought that it would happen. So curiosity is number one. Second is take small steps, which all add up to the big thing. Always see the big picture. Again, this sounds very cliched. When we say big picture, we say, okay, in long term, I'm going to become a journalist. Now, you cannot become a good journalist until unless you read a lot, until unless you are able to write very well. How would you be able to become a journalist? Until unless you observe life around you, until unless you have a sensitivity of what is happening with people around you. So all that adds up. So see the bigger picture. Don't see this narrow picture. In fact, interestingly to all of you, the World Economic Forum and all the recent studies have said that the world of tomorrow is the one where you will be multitasking even more. Which means if you think my job is going to be like this, let me just focus on it. Yes, it is good. But eventually you will also be asked to do additional things which you will not have studied for. In good universities the world over, we are teaching students today in areas for which there are no jobs in the world. So 5 years, 10 years down the line, there will be new jobs in the world. How do I teach students today for the jobs which have not even been created? AI, look at technology. What is technology doing? You don't have technology, but they are still being taught. You don't have new systems in media, but they are still being taught. So curiosity, doing small things which add to big things, taking the big picture, and please connect the dots. Build up your ability to connect different things which seemingly do not connect to each other. And you will be startled to what discoveries you will make on an everyday basis. So as a challenge, as a game, you can play that game. You say, okay, this is a technology. So DNA mapping is a technology which is coming up for health sciences. Can you connect DNA mapping to advertising? Well, on the face of it, you would laugh at me. But believe me, the moment you think about it, you will be able to do it. That is what in Japan, the best brands are doing it. You know what they do? And if you allow me a second more, in Japan, on the roads, they have billboards which are AI enabled. So when you pass in front of the billboard, it actually maps your DNA. And it maps, and secondly, it kind of gives you a customized billboard what you want based on the databases which they already have it. So the idea is technology, again, creativity coming. So connect the dots is another thing. And the fourth is, which I think all parents will be telling you, please don't lose hope. I have many times seen, students at 9th, 10th, 11th coming up and saying, I want to pursue this, and that is the only thing which I want to pursue. That's great. But the fact is, keep your eyesight, be like a vulture, see the world over from above. The difference between a vulture and why vulture survives is because vulture says, I'm not only going to eat a rat. Because if I only focus only on the rat, whenever I don't get the rat, what would I going to eat? So it says to itself, I'm going to eat everything which is brown. That's a survival skill. So the point is, these 4-5 things, if you really pursue along with every other thing, I think you will be in a good space. You'll be in a good space to move into different categories, into different professions, into different jobs. You never know how the world will change tomorrow.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your truly inspiring words.
Hello, it was indeed a wonderful session. It opened up our minds about so many things, and which was very, very important for us at this point of time when we want to choose what we want to do in our future. I would like to specially thank Pranav sir for hosting such a wonderful event. Thank you so much, EduTV. Keep watching EduTV. Thank you.
Yeah. So that was a wonderful discussion that we had today with all our panel members. It was an amazing session. All our queries were answered by Professor Divakar Shukla, so expressing our sincere gratitude to him. And our special thanks to Mr. Pranav sir and EduTV for giving us this great opportunity. Thank you so much. As always, take care, stay safe, and thank you.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Please keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV. And keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV. Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV.
Keep watching EduTV. Thank you.